Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 224 based on novel. So let's start. In an undying fight, some were ground gods, some controlled fire, some the land. These were all the law domains: gold, wood, water, fire, ground, wind, thunder, light. The 8 laws had different levels. Naturally their domains were different too. Hence in an undying fight, they normally didn't use the law domains. However, if an undying was trying to kill a sector lord or domain lord etc., they could use it to bully their opponent. This was the law domain that one only got after fully comprehending a law. Howl. A howl tore through the space and resounded. A mountain-like enormous beast that was covered in black scales, the pinnacle of space beasts, golden horned beast, appeared before Luo Feng. As it appeared, its body length strength over 200 kilometers, it was still shrinking as it appeared. Crackle, its density kept increasing as it shrank, its scales shrank and its bones and muscles grew more dense, the 5 horns on its head shrank too in an instant. It became a 100 kilometers long space beast. Deities of the world level 2, small progress. Its body length had shrunk 5 times while its density had exploded over 100 times, raising its battle ability to 5 times. Deities of the world, if he makes great progress in the 2nd level, his strength could be increased by 9 times, the 3rd level allowed his strength to rise 36 times. However, this technique was easiest when the golden horned beast was small. As it got stronger, it got harder to train. Many golden horned beasts only finished the 1st level throughout their entire lives. Very few actually made great progress in the 2nd level. As for the 3rd level, it was just a legend. Luo Feng's golden horned beast was already sector lord level 6, it was extremely hard to improve in deities of the world, and the requirements were extremely harsh. Even now, Luo Feng had no way around it. Golden horned beast. The flame undying was shocked as he saw the huge beast. What powerful energy! It should be a sector lord pinnacle beast, and the golden horned beast of that level is supposed to be over 1,000 kilometers long. This one, however, has used some sort of shrinking technique. A human actually has a golden horned beast to protect it. Who knows whether he's controlled the soul of this beast or it was a gift from his teacher True Yang Emperor. The undying was pondering. No matter, even a sector lord pinnacle golden horned beast will die. The flame undying's eyes lit up and burned with flames. Rumble. The flame laws became a huge fire dragon rushing at the golden horned beast. Against the endless flames, the golden horned beast let out a fierce howl. Rumble, the surrounding over 10,000 kilometers in area warped and became an endless mountain range world. Powerful world projection. It immediately clashed against the burning flames. The mountains that hit first were immediately burnt to ashes. However, the world projection continued to form. The flames continued to burn. The world kept forming. As such, it became a stalemate. How can he have such powerful world projection? The undying's expression changed. It's actually comparable to the law domain. I've long heard of the powerful swallowing beast's internal world and how vast it was. However, this one is simply absurd. World projection, it depended on how powerful one's internal world was. Under normal circumstances, the moment law domain was unleashed, the world projection of a sector lord would instantly crumble without any ability to withstand it. And for it to be comparable to the law domain, it was simply an impossible scenario. A human sector lord pinnacle's internal world only had a diameter of 10,000 kilometers. Luo Feng's, however, was over 60 million kilometers. Much bigger than even true golden horned beasts' worlds. Normally, sector lord pinnacle golden horned beasts only had worlds with diameters about 30 million kilometers. Unleashing world projection, they could barely withstand law domain. They may be disadvantaged, but they could withstand it. At this time, Luo Feng's world projection was in a stalemate with the law domain. 60 million kilometers compared to 10,000 kilometers, the difference was 6,000 times. It was like China's entire territory compared to a small village, China's projection compared to the village's projection. The power difference was huge. Howl, the beast howled. Picking the hardest path naturally had its benefits. At least, its incredibly huge internal world had an extremely powerful world projection. There was no need to fear an undying. It's no use. Law domain is but an assisting skill. In an undying battle, we don't even use this. The undying roared too, instantly becoming a flaming beam of light and rushing towards the beast. Howl. The beast raised its head and howled. The engravings on its 5 horns all lit up, its head, neck, back, for claws, scaled wings all lit up with engravings all over. It wasn't just such, even its right claw began to undergo change, becoming thicker, its scales changed as they swiftly changed to gold. Natural ability strengthening. Blood river energy triggered. The natural ability made its body grow in strength by an entire time, its physical strength, world energy, etc. With the blood river energy triggered, its entire body strength was condensed and its right claw's strength rose by 11 times. Deities of the world amplitude was 5 times, natural ability strengthen was 2 times. Blood river energy amplitude was 11 times, the nameless manual had resulted in its strength already 3 times from before. Its terrifying right claw strength was currently a shocking 330 times that of a normal Sector Lord level 6 golden horned beast without any natural abilities, and a normal Sector Lord level 6 beast was already no weaker than a human Sector Lord pinnacle warrior. 330 times amplitude. And with its spirit energy amplitude at over 3,232 times that of a normal human, and its strength and ability doubling that, its world energy was now 64 times stronger. However, in comparison, the beast's strongest point was still its body. Its world projection could match up to the law domain, hence it at least had the ability to put up a fight. How? The beast roared madly, simultaneously welcoming the Undying rushing over. It waved its powerful right claw, and through its comprehension of the gold and space laws from studying the beast god's howling picture, it followed the beast god present's comprehension that it had worked so hard on for over 180 years, unleashing its strongest attack. Sky-tearing claw rumble, the space around it was instantly torn apart, layers of space were split, causing space tears all around. Even if you are a golden horned beast, you are only Sector Lord level, you actually dare block me, go and die. A huge blade appeared in the flame Undying's hands, it burned with powerful flames and with a slash, the universe space was also torn apart, the seams and layers sliced open. This move was infused with complete flame laws along with some space laws. Its power was terrifying. With Undying energy backing this move, it was extremely powerful. Rumble, the gold claw clashed directly with the flaming blade. However, against the right claw, the blade seemed as small as a toothpick. 330 times stronger than a normal Sector Lord pinnacle level strength, even though the world energy was far from its right claw's power it was infused within, its power was stronger from that. And with its 10 times amplitude from its comprehension of the beast god howling picture, this terrifying claw attack was the golden horned beast's strongest move. And even though that flame Undying was a very normal Undying, he was still an Undying, his strength was countless times stronger than a Sector Lord. A Sector Lord pinnacle golden horned beast, only very few exceptional ones were comparable to a normal Undying, many still choose to flee. Rumble. The huge golden horned beast and the flame Undying were knocked far apart, the powerful clash caused space around them to tear open, its powerful ripples seeped in through the tears into space itself, 330 times the strength of a normal Sector Lord pinnacle, and with the howling beast god picture amplitude, and my law comprehension raised 10 times, plus that little bit of the beast god presence, I actually still cannot defeat a normal Undying. Luophone was shocked by the difference between a Sector Lord and Undying. I am an Undying, I actually cannot defeat a Sector Lord level golden horned beast. The flame Undying was shocked too. After which, howl, the beast once again rushed. Kill. The flame Undying began to grow mad too. Fierce battle. The scales on the beast were torn apart as gold blood spewed everywhere. Waving its right claw, the black armor on the Undying was slashed open too, its scales flying everywhere, his layer of red fur was slashed apart, his muscles torn, his gold blood flying about. Rumble. The beast was knocked hard into the endless bug corpses. Rumble. The Undying too was knocked hard into another pile of corpses. It was a tough even battle. One had a 60 million kilometers diameter internal world, with training in the nameless manual along with 100 absorbed blood river crystals, along with other special encounters. The other was a normal flame Undying. One had completely comprehended the flame laws and some of the space laws. One had comprehended a good half of the gold laws and a part of the space laws, along with the beast god presence, and the howling beast god picture raising its amplitude to 10 times. Rumble. Rumble. A golden horned beast and a flame Undying, battling within the endless bug corpses, almost every second they would exchange over 100s to 1000s of blows, fast as lightning, the scales of the beasts were torn apart while the skin and muscles of the flame Undying were torn apart too, gold blood spewed in all directions. The battle has already lasted 50 seconds. The Undying was boiling with rage. Casey had said I have to kill Luophone in 80 seconds. This human is protected by the golden horned beast within its internal world. If I don't kill it, I can't kill him. There's no time. The flame undying, as a soul-controlled slave, was willing to do everything at any price to fulfill his master's orders. He rushed again at the beast roared as it raised its powerful gold right claw again, as the two clashed. Ah! The undying's expression was struggling, his red fur shook as he howled, his eyes filled with madness. Go and die, golden horned beast, explode! 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 Rumble, the space about crumbled as he instantly became a terrifying super fireball, almost like a new star that was about to explode. God, self-destruct! The final move. Complete the mission at all costs. Self-destruct, this is definitely an undying under soul control. Luophone was shocked. How? The golden horned beast let out a painful howl, with no time at all to dodge. The self-destruct power of an undying was terrifying. To train to undying level was extremely difficult. The true power an undying held was no less than a star. This self-destruct was an instant explosion of his trillions of years undying energy. He already chose to self-destruct, why would he leave any undying energy behind? Plus this was a flame undying. Rumble, hotter than even the law flames by hundreds to thousands of times, even the space about was instantly reduced to particles. The supernova-like explosion had power on an unbelievable level, and the super close by golden horned beast was the first to receive this attack. Its gold right claw was the hardest point on its body. Its strength was raised by 330 times, actually the other parts of its body were only raised by 30 times, and the right claw was only about 10,000 times that of a normal right claw, hence on average it evened out to 330 times. Raising the right claw by that much, it was harder than even most undying weapons. And the particle stream formed from this explosion melted even space itself, yet the right claw managed to withstand it. How? The beast let out a painful howl. The areas closest to its gold right claw, its neck and stomach regions were all attacked. The black scales there were instantly bright red before turning to ash. Kai-shi-shi, the thick powerful intertwining muscles that had strength to tear through space itself. However, the explosion had burnt a large portion of this muscles into ash instantly. Its internal organs were instantly turned to ash too. Its gold bones were obviously much stronger than its muscles and scales. It had darkened quite a bit from its original gold. The particle stream caused from the explosion rippled in all directions. The beast was but in one of those directions. They were surrounded by the large amount of Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses in other directions. These were after all Sector Lord Pinnacle corpses with extremely sturdy scales. Even using an E9 grade laser gun, it would still be hard to pierce through its shell. This was mostly because they were dead without any energy infused within its shell. A true Sector Lord bug warrior had extremely strong defense. Even though its body was much weaker, it still shouldn't be underestimated. Hence the explosion, which was originally capable of spreading over tens of millions of kilometers in area, surrounded by the endless Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses, the extremely hot particle flow instantly melted through large amounts of the corpses, continuing to flow out and reducing a large amount of them to ash. The explosion rippled over 10,000 kilometers in area. The Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses within a 100 kilometers area were reduced to ash, above that up to 10,000 kilometers, some had flaked while others were simply knocked away, without much damage. After all, after layers and layers of Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses withstanding the attack, even an undying self-destruct, it could only pass through that many layers. However, the golden horned beast with a body length of 100 kilometers took the greatest ripples of the attack. The strongest peak of the explosion was at 0.01 seconds, and the particle stream that burst out immediately decreases in power swiftly as it flows. Even the crumbled space about was regenerating. One could see, under the effects of the weaker flames, the mountain-like beast floated in space. At this time, it was almost like a skeleton golden horned beast. Of its entire body, only its right claw, tail and scaled wings at the side were still covered in scales. Its main body portion was left with dark bones. Even its head was left with its skull and 5 horns. Too terrifying. The power was actually beyond what the beast could withstand. It's nothing but a skeleton now, Luophone thought. At the same time, the skeleton golden horned beast continued to swiftly fly in the distance. About 80,000 kilometers away from its body, there was a torn-up cloud contact vine fragment. However, within it were several vines wrapping a few kilometers of room, an entire unit of bug clan corpses. At the core of the vines was one bug clan shell. It instantly became Luophone, his earth body. Su! Luophone swiftly headed towards the skeletal golden horned beast. When the two got close, the beast vanished straight into his internal world. Right. Luophone's true life core wasn't within the golden horned beast. Before, when he discovered Assassin Agent 6KC earlier, He had wanted to use this to test himself, however he was clear that an assassin able to hide within Wulong Starfield, such an important place, would definitely have terrifying trump cards. He didn't want to play with fire and lose his life, hence the first thing he thought about while planning was what would happen if he couldn't win. Before even considering victory, he planned for failure. Hence, when he sent out the cloud contact vine, allowing those 216 vines to extend over 10,000 kilometers, he had long made the Mosha clansman take the form of a leaf within the vines, and placing the core within its body. Also, when the vines extended over 10,000 kilometers, it had one more motive, that was to place the Mosha leaf over 10,000 kilometers away from the battle, hiding the leaves among Sector Lord level bug corpses. As it entered the group of corpses, the leaf immediately became a shell of the bug clan. Mixed within the corpses, it wasn't noticeable at all. And when the Undying appeared after, causing large amounts of the vine to instantly explode and fly in all directions, the flame Undying then, how could he have thought about the bug corpses over 10,000 kilometers away, and after all there were endless corpses all about, he didn't even suspect anything. After which, when Luo Feng used his world projection, expanding over 10,000 kilometers, simultaneously showing the golden horned beast body, Luo Feng's earth body entered his internal world. The golden horned beast vs the flame Undying, it was the chance for him to test his true battle abilities. If he succeeded, that would definitely be a happy thing. If he failed, the golden horned beast would self-destruct. It was simply losing one body, no big deal. Using some world energy, he could easily replace the body in his internal world. As for the blood river energy within its right claw, if he could retrieve the remains of the right claw after, that would be a good thing. He could easily absorb it into the new body. If the opponent took the remains of the right claw away, at most he could just absorb another 100 new blood river crystals into the new body. Whether I succeeded or failed, I would suffer no true losses. And things really took a turn for the worst, and an incredibly powerful enemy presented himself. If the golden horned beast died, I will toss my earth body out and throw some items out of my space ring, making it seem like my internal world collapse. Then I'll let him kill my earth body, allowing him to think that he truly killed me. Luo Feng thought. That was the worst-case scenario. To force the golden horned beast to self-destruct, only Luo Feng would pick such an opponent. No matter what, the Mosha had transformed into a bug shell and was hidden amidst endless bug corpses. Under any circumstance, he had already devised backups. Using all three bodies and an incredibly huge world projection, he had many ways around it. Damn! The power of the flame Undying's explosion sure is strong. Luo Feng looked about. It was empty. In the distance he could see burnt bug corpse remains. The law flames from before and the self-destruct explosion had destroyed at least 1,000 units around him. The main thing was the bodies were too densely clustered without the energies from when they were living. The losses are that huge, close to 1,000 bug corpses units, all Sector Lord Pinnacle. Luo Feng gazed about. When Wulong Starfield realizes they've lost close to 10 million mixed elements, they'd be mad. Luo Feng thought within. He immediately flashed. He immediately flew several hundred kilometers away and expanded his internal world out, immediately sucking in 300 units of Sector Lord bug corpses in. Since they've already lost close to 1,000 units of bug corpses, they shouldn't be able to discover these 300 extra missing. Luo Feng muttered within. He was happy. 300 units, buying them would require 3 million mixed elements, and he simply just took them like that. Even though he had to use quite a bit of world energy to regenerate the golden horned beast, that little bit of energy was only worth a few mixed elements. These 300 bug corpses units was the true benefit from being attacked. However, he didn't dare take too much. That would be too easy to be discovered. I'll take it as compensation. If I didn't have the golden horned beast body, I'd really be dead. This Wulong Starfield's response system is seriously too lousy. I requested for help from Longju Emperor and yet up till now no one has shown up. Luo Feng stood in space, not doing anything, just patiently waiting. His battle with the flame Undying was 50 seconds. The self-destruct explosion wasn't even 0.01 seconds. The golden horned beast returned to the internal world, about 0.1 seconds. After which, Luo Feng looked about and thought of taking that extra 300 units of bug corpses, putting them in his internal world. That took about 1 second. It may seem slow, but everything happened really quickly. At that level, Luo Feng's consciousness and reaction speed were comparable to a quantum computer. His movement speed was also extremely fast, reaching over 10,000 kilometers per second. After finishing everything, he put on the persona of a victim, patiently waiting in space. I'm a victim, Luo Feng muttered to himself. Wulong Starfield, the place where remains of corpses, weapons etc. were sorted out well from the outer region wars, lined up organized within space itself. Only the tens of thousands of kilometer area that had just gone through an undying level of catastrophe was in a mess. The organized corpses of the sector Lord Bugs were strewn about. A few tens of thousands of kilometer away from Luo Feng, where the round metal observation device was situated, a silhouette appeared. He was about 10 meters tall, dressed in a complex peculiar armor that was black and purple. Mysterious engravings covered the entire armor, causing it to emanate energy that shook even the space about. The boots he wore, it felt like an endless mountain. Standing in space, he dominated that area. He glanced at the broken ball beside him, before gazing in Luo Feng's direction, muttering, "Energy ripples, it's a flame undying." Luo Feng, who was standing in space, looked shocked at the great being that suddenly appeared before him. Luo Feng looked up at him, seeing his dark red eyes behind his peculiar helmet. His soul shuddered within. He couldn't help but bow respectfully. "Greetings, Knight." After his experience in Primal Chaos City, and seeing a few Emperor-level undyings, he had no doubt that this being that made his soul shudder this way was definitely a Knight-level being. "You are Luo Feng?" His voice rumbled in space and within Luo Feng's consciousness. "Yes." Luo Feng replied. "What happened here? Say everything in detail." The Knight looked at the little punk before him. The security system on Wulong Starfield had given him some information and made him leave immediately. It also gave him Luo Feng and the other 3 internal members information. "Yes, Knight." Luo Feng said respectfully, "I was here to buy bug corpses. The 2 guides and I were inspecting the conditions on the different units. However, just now, we coincidentally met with another internal member. He was in a white robes too. He was called Casey. The 2 guides that brought me recognized him. It is extremely rare to bump into another member within the Starfield, hence the 2 guides were very happy to meet and chat with him. However, at this time, my AI informed me that it felt surveillance signal in this area vanish." Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, saying solemnly, "And at this time, Casey suddenly attacked without any provocation, without any defense at such close distance. My 2 guides were instantly killed." The Knight gazed at Luo Feng and listened silently. Luo Feng was nervous within. He was very clear he needed to be extremely careful in answering. In Wulong Starfield, such an important location of humanity, the Knight's about ensured that no one could easily flout the rules of the Starfield. "After which, Casey attacked me," Luo Feng emphasized. "However, since I've reached domain lord level and placed outside by the virtual universe company, I knew that I would occasionally encounter danger. Naturally, I have some trump cards. Within my internal world, I bring 10 sector lords as guards and I immediately summoned them back then, also allowing my plant life form Cloud Contact Vine to assist them. Dealing with Casey, it seemed like an easy task to kill him. However, before he died, he brought out a flame undying from his internal world." Luo Feng said, "I didn't expect that he'd actually have a flame undying within. This was simply too terrifying." The Knight listened silently. The moment the flame undying appeared, the first thing he did was to kill Casey. It made me extremely shocked. Luo Feng said, "After killing him, he made a move to kill my 10 sector lord guards. However, he didn't know that within my 10 guards, one of which was my soul slave, and within his internal world, it held one of my trump cards." Luo Feng was very clear that flame undying self-destruct would create ripples that left behind traces. It definitely couldn't be hidden from the Knight. Even a normal undying would be able to discern it. How did he actually escape this? He needed a solid alibi. However, it had to be reliable, otherwise, he'd be in trouble. "Fire God Origin Crystal?" The Knight's voice exploded within Luo Feng's mind. "Yes," Luo Feng said respectfully. The Fire God Origin Crystal was a technological weapon of the automaton race. As the entire universe's most technologically advanced place, the automaton race was able to create weapons that could kill undyings. However, these weapons were extremely pricey, especially those able to be used over and over. Their prices were absurd. F-grade laser gun? It was said its price was over 100 million mixed units. Even Emperor-level undyings couldn't necessarily afford it. Other than these laser gun-type single-held weapons, there were other bigger weapons like Space Fort, God's Sacred Land. Those were terrifying weapons that used in the outer region wars. Even Emperor-level undyings, with their entire fortune, couldn't afford it. Naturally, amongst the undying killing weapons, there were still some cheaper ones. Those that were for one-time usage. Like the Fire God Origin Crystal, Flame. As the easiest explosive energy, the crystal was one of the easier undying killing weapons to purchase. It was a crystal infused with a large amount of flame undying energy within, an explosive device that made all its energy instantly explode. Similar to a flame undying self-destruct. The theory was simple, but the technology behind it was extremely high. After all, to compress such shocking amounts of flame undying energy into an undying crystal, and condense it even more tens of millions of times to an origin crystal, the technology was absurd. Version 1129 type flame god origin crystal, it was more of a low-level crystal. Its strength was only akin to a normal flame undying self-destruct. As a one-time usage item, if one had a pathway to buy it, its price was around 1 million to 1.5 million mixed elements. My soul-controlled slave used the flame god origin crystal, instantly exploding, as I fled the moment my 10 sector lord guards were dealing with the undying. When that crystal exploded, I was already tens of thousands of kilometers away. Luo Feng said respectfully, the explosion caused the undying to die as well, but I managed to escape. To protect the secret of his golden horned beast, Luo Feng relied on his world projection to instantly collect all of the beast's broken scales and flesh into his internal world. After careful consideration, he crafted an alibi, using the flame god origin crystal to explain everything, using his controlled sector lord slave to trigger the move. Luo Feng stood respectfully there, awaiting the knight's reply. The knight nodded. Finally, I will record everything you said and send it to the security system of Wulong Starfield. As for you, the other 5 Emperor-level undyings will make a decision after discussing. At this time, there were ripples in the distant space. In an instant, a universe ship appeared. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. It was Longju Emperor's ship. The cabin door opened. Longju Emperor and Dylan became beams of lights as they instantly appeared. Knight. Longju Emperor bowed respectfully. Dylan bowed too. The matter here will be left to you 5 to settle. As for Luo Feng's explanation and my deduction, it's already been passed to the AI of Wulong Starfield. The knight said coldly, after which he vanished and instantly teleported from their vision. In space, Luo Feng stood there with Longju Emperor and Dylan. Your Majesty, are you fine? Dylan asked. He seemed self-reprimanding within. The Grandmaster left you to my protection. However, Dylan, this isn't your fault. Luo Feng shook his head. Longju Emperor said, it's not Dylan or Luo Feng's fault. It's a problem in our Wulong Starfield's internal division. It looks like there's some spies of other races mixed in. Normally whenever any absolute genius of humanity was attacked, most would say it was done by spies of the other races. Actually, there were some times when these geniuses were killed by other humans with grudges, etc. However, as long as it wasn't thoroughly investigated, it would normally be pushed to other races. Who made the move? Longju Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Wulong Starfield internal member Casey. Luo Feng said. Longju Emperor nodded, looking about, his formless undying energy expanding out. With a scan of some of the broken bug corpses and surroundings, there's quite a bit of cloud contact vine remains. It's my supporting plant life form. Luo Feng said. The losses this time are not small at all. Longju Emperor frowned. We actually lost over 1,000 Sector Lord Bug Corpses units, HM. If this battle had happened in the Domain Lord level corpses area, the losses would be much less. Losing over 1,000 units, this will be troublesome. Troublesome? Luo Feng looked at him. Longju Emperor looked at Luo Feng, nodding, right, even though you informed me that someone tried to kill you. However, the 2 guides and the killer Casey are all dead. And since that's so, there's no evidence. If one was still alive, we can search his soul properly for evidence. Now there's nothing left though. If the loss to Wulong Starfield was small, not 1 million mixed elements, I can easily settle it myself. However, since it's all 5 managers handling it, and there's no evidence, Luo Feng, you may have some trouble. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.